What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T, man. This is the Get Right Podcast, man. And we are back, man. We one homie down, the brain trust, Rod. So I'm gonna drop it in, drop a line, man, and not only say what it do, what it is, what it ain't, but what up, though. What's happening? For the homie Rod, who are not with us right now, man. Just we gave him a day off. Let's just say that. But he'll be back. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back rolling with us, man. But you know, always got the homie rolling with me as well. DC, Mr. Misconception. The people they love to hate to love, man. What's happening, bro?
It's your boy DC and the place to be, the man with way too many aliases, but I got a new nickname. I need a vacation, bro. Y'all be getting these days off, bro. I need a day off out this thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy DC, aka I need a vacation.
Hey, man. Hey, we all do for one as a group, though, man. We gonna be talking about it because the Get Right Podcast will be hitting that road a little bit sooner. But hey, we got a guest, man, and to bring it in, man. So if you guys want to get rich. No, but you guys really want to talk about, we want to talk about finances and people who look like us and people in our community, but even outside of our community too, man. We want to talk about finances, man. So we got a guest, man, with us, man, Lorenzo Boston. What's happening, bro?
Hey, man. How's it going? Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely, bro, man. We actually been looking forward to this one, man. So we really wanted to get your take, man, on some money, some finances, and just life too, man, and get to know you, man. So I'm gonna just really kick it off, man, for you to kick it off with us to just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah. So my full name is for Jonathan Lorenzo Boston, but I go by Lorenzo, just to keep it nice and spicy with that. But I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
I've been living in Columbia, South Carolina for roughly around 15 years now, through high school and then college, and then at USC as well. So go Gamecocks with that. We just missed the undefeated season with the ladies, though. That was
Yeah.
That's tough.
tough.
Yeah.
But
Caitlin Clark.
we got some championships though. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, just coming in and I represent and work for with a firm called PFS Investments. And what we do and what I do specifically is I focus on the education and financial literacy, because I know that that's really the core problem to why people aren't doing well in managing their finances or putting plans together, is honestly because we don't know much about it. Look through all our schooling, there's not one class you can take that's about personal finances, from just basic things to balancing a checkbook if you use checks, or what is credit, how do you use credit, how do you grow it, what are the factors in it, taxes, all the things that we all deal with as adults. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have to deal with it. But the system, and that's a whole nother conversation, but the system is not designed to teach us that. And it's become very, very difficult to be financially free. Even those of us who make a lot of money, we see it with athletes and things and rappers, celebrities, and if they don't have the education, they also can go broke with millions of dollars.
Yep.
So, and I've also seen now with some people I've been helping over the years now that I've been doing this, that they, with way less money, are going to be able to fully retire. And all retirement is, and I tell people as I teach them, is all retirement is having enough passive money coming in that pays for all your living expenses without you having to trade your time to work for it. That's all retirement is. It's not an age thing, it's a money thing. If you have enough, and it depends on your standard of living. It's not like you need $100,000 a year. If you can mitigate cut down on your debts, how much you owe if you pay off a house or a car, you'd be surprised how people can live off of just $2,000 a month if you don't have a big mortgage in the car, because those are the two biggest expenses most people have. And people are
Yeah.
usually always, if you're not taught to save things, and I say this kind of jokingly, but if you ever watch on TV, I mean, what's coming up? Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah.
It's about to be advertised if you look, because if you don't know, right? Because if you think about it, the only thing that we get that doesn't come with instructions is money. Besides going to bills, if I hand you guys $10,000 right now,
Mhm.
what would you do with it? And people will pause, like, I don't know. But if you don't know, the first thing we turn to is what we're influenced by, right?
Yes.
On the TV,
Mm-hmm.
buy this, buy that. There's car deals. There's this. There's game shows, entertainment. Let's go to this concert. Let's drink tequila and tacos, which I will be doing, by the way. We'll be doing that. But I always ask people, when's the last time you seen a commercial come on that says, "Hey, if you would have put $300, $400, $500 a month away into a Roth IRA, which can be tax free when you withdraw it at the end, and you do this for 30 years, from your 20s or 30s to your 60, oh, you can have about $1 million in there, and you can help retire off that." You've never seen a commercial that says that.
No.
Big
So
Why?
facts.
this is
Why?
why
Because
people
it's
are
not sexy enough, right? It's not.
right.
It's
That's
not.
not sexy, right? That's not sexy. So that's why people have a hard time of doing finances. And what I'm doing is to do my part in educating people, and that's different than your traditional financial advisors too. I'm the guy, the next door neighbor kind of guy. I don't come suited and booted with people. I don't talk a bunch of financial jargon, because and I draw pictures for people. I make it very, very simple because it's not hard to do it. But I'm not going to give you a big pamphlet, a brochure with 1,000 pages and have you looking at me glazed like you don't know what I'm talking about. That doesn't help anybody. So if you break it down and you make it simple, then anybody can get it, just like I did, because I had no financial background. I didn't go to school for finances. I went to USC for actually IT, because it was the early 2010s was when I was in college, which was when Instagram and Twitter and all of them was starting. They were telling us, hey, if you learn programming, you're probably going to be guaranteed to make six figures. So that sounded good, and I like computers. Uh, really, what happened with that was I found out in college, and hopefully people learn about themselves in college. That's what you usually do. But I couldn't sit in front of a computer for 8-10 hours a day, and it's not entertainment. If it's work, if it's looking at a blank screen, typing things all day, no, I couldn't do it. I'm a people person. I like going out, talking to people, meeting with people, doing things like this, like the podcast and stuff like that. So I was looking for something else to do. And how I got involved with the finances is just, honestly, I had personal experiences with those. And I always just phrase it like this, just real quick. I say we all have two eyes, and they stand for two things, which is insurance and investments. And those are the two things, if you nurture and you learn about, you contribute to. We're starting with our generation, with all the technology we have and information. We're in position now to where we can build our own financial freedom. Nothing stopping us from doing it except time and want to learn for it and to actually apply it. So I
Yeah.
had life experience with insurance and investments. I had my mother's is April 13th. Well, actually, while I was on a vacation on a cruise during Easter, it was actually, that was just past her 6th anniversary of her passing. She had multiple myeloma, which is a bone marrow cancer.
Yeah,
And
man. I'm
she lived
familiar
with
with
it for 15 years, which was a long time, by the way. Most people don't, it attacks your spine and it disrupts the function in a lot of your body parts, because your spine kind of helps control everything. So the fact that she lived that long, throughout at least most of my growing up years, I was able to spend time with her. So that was great. But that's when you deal with life insurance. Usually people think about it when a death happens.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate to get some insurance. I also you learn about a lot about your family too, death. So I learned a lot about my family, where insurance was available and family members will take it. and think that it belongs to them. If there's no what's called a will, and I help people understand how to get wills and stuff in place too, where nobody can go to probate court and stuff where they can seize assets or argue about it in the courts all day. It's just, hey, this is what the person wanted and it's going to happen that way. So, but not having that, I got to see firsthand it can tear families apart. People that you loved
Yeah.
all your life for honestly a little bit of money in the grand scheme of things. So I had to deal with that. And then investments was while I was in college at USC. There was a young lady I was dating that was a waitress, and she pulled up in a new car one time, a Genesis, and I told her, I said, "There's no way. I don't care how much they're tipping. How can you get a new car?" So, but she said there was this account that her grandfather had that when she turned 21 and she has good grades and she was in college, that she had access to it, and it had $40,000. And then
Mm.
circle back to the lack of financial literacy or education. What do you go do? She goes and buys a new car, which is like the worst thing you can, one of the worst assets you can
Right.
buy is a new car.
Because it depreciates as soon as you buy it, as soon as you pull off the lot.
Exactly. It's just boom, about half the worth is already gone. So uh, I remember just telling myself, this is not Neverland. There's no Tinker Bell, right? We can't fly, right? I don't think so, not yet. Maybe one day we might have flying cars by the time we die, right? but something happened here, and so I took it upon myself to just go on my little smartphone. We all have smartphones, right? So I just went on my smartphone and just started Googling things, and it led me to what was Ask Jeeves at the time, and and then
Wow.
to Investopedia. And then once you get to Investopedia, man, it's a big rabbit hole with that. And so I got obsessed with just learning about it. And so that's how I got into it. And then PFS Investments was just they reached out to me and said I could get licensed in it to manage my own because I saw how important they were. And after dealing with my family into death, I didn't trust really much people at all, except myself and a few closest to me. So I said, to heck with it, I'll do it. And so I started managing my own. But what got me into teaching it to other people was when I was learning and getting licensed and taking my state tests and things like that, I was asking people at the University of South Carolina and people that I knew that were smart, right? These are smart people around me. And nobody really knew anything about finances. And then that's when it hit me that, this is an American problem. I mean, I don't care you white, black, purple, green, I don't care what you are. We all don't know about it.
Wow.
So I say, you know what? It would probably be in my best interest to not just keep this information to myself, but if I can teach other people how to do it, then other people can avoid some of the things I've had to go through in life, as well as prevent them. And so now that's how I do it now. I teach people, and because if we got to help take care of ourselves, because we know who's not going to do it. Daddy government is not going to do it.
Right.
Or he will, but if he does, he's going to hold you under his thumb and not let you do anything. So I'm trying to teach people, man, if as many people as I can see be financially free, that I'll be willing to do. So that's my story with it. Sorry,
Okay.
that's.
Hey man, stand on your soapbox. With that being said, man, like obviously, I guess dealing with and definitely sorry for your loss with your mom. You know what I'm saying? I lost my mom as well, so definitely I get it. And then you're dealing with family. Was that like your biggest why of like, you know what? Let me try to figure this out myself on getting financially free or just understanding how to invest in things and what to spend and what not to spend. Was that one of your whys along with that waitress you used to date?
Yes, yeah, hey, yeah. They always say sometimes the best teachers are experiences. I grew up poor with family and stuff, and we didn't have much, so I didn't have people around me that were telling me, hey, start saving your money, start doing this, just the concepts of it. So I had to fumble kind of through life with it for a while, just things happening to me. So those were some of the events. But also I was a little natural at just saving money. I used to always count, we only had $1 back then, but I kind of knew how to keep, at least a quarter out of it and
Mhm.
just put it into the little piggy bank that I had. So I already had some kind of sense for that. And so when these experiences came, it just kind of expounded everything. And I said, you know what? I really want to learn this stuff. And then I found out I was invested in learning, no pun intended. I was invested in learning about investments and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, so, like, let me ask you this then. Like, you said, like, obviously, you getting into investments, you're learning those things. You're learning from your life lessons too. What has been the common theme came across in your teachings now as you're teaching someone? Say, hey man, can you help me learn this? Hey sir, can you help me learn this? Like, what's the common theme of all the people you've been teaching?
Yeah, so the first thing that's the common theme is that, yeah, talking about finances is not sexy to people. People
Mhm.
try to avoid talking about it. And the real reason why they do that is because most people aren't doing well. If you're doing
Mm.
well, then I know the people real quick who are because they brag about it. And I was like, okay, so you're good. But the biggest issue and common denominator, I would say too, is people, because of the lack of education and talking to these big financial advisors who say a bunch of stuff that you don't understand and you just have to kind of trust them. People
Mm,
are honestly intimidated by it. They're intimidated. That's really
Mm.
so it really helps. The biggest thing I love about teaching and working with people is after teaching them first, before I talk about any financials and planning or money stuff, I always just teach first. Just start learning this so you can understand and make a better, because the saying goes, if you know better, then you tend to do better.
That's
big
right. If
fact.
you knew better, you do better.
Exactly. And so when people, I love to see people's faces when I break it down to them, and it's literally on 2 sheets of paper. I can do it all on 2 sheets of paper. That's how condensed I've done it. Uh, and to just see people just look at me like, man, that's all it is to it. And I can look at them back and say, yes, man, that's all it is. And I can see the relief go across people's faces, because if you go on money things and money talk shows and stuff, man, they make it seem like it's all kind of stuff you got to do. There is a lot of things to do, but the concept of it is actually simple. And
Okay.
that's what everybody needs, is just that. So that's the biggest common denominator, intimidation.
All right. So are you
Mm.
are you just working in South Carolina only, or are you doing like virtual meetings with people throughout the
Yeah.
US?
So
Or like,
yeah. So how it
what's
works,
your
and
current
this is, oh, sorry.
location? No, I'm just saying, yeah, what's your current location? What's your current baseline?
Right. So I and how it works with people in the industry. If you're licensed in the financial industry, what you have is called a residence license and non-residence license.
Okay.
So I do mainly South Carolina now and North Carolina because I go to Charlotte a lot. I travel. I do Zoom calls with folks, whichever way. I like to meet in person with people too, because to people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Period. So I love building rapport with people. I meet people out all the time. I go to, restaurants, happy hour, and, all kind of things. I love doing that. So right now it's there, but if there is a client that needs to be in California that needs something, I can get the non-residence license in California and virtually do business with them.
Okay. That's
So
what's
I'm not limited as far as where I can do business at, but as far as me being in person and meeting people is mainly South and North Carolina.
okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. And I ask because we got listeners to someone, and I'm gonna ask you before the show ends how people can track you down. So I'm just wanted
Mhm.
to know, like, what's your where's your home base at? Or you virtual, which is a good thing that you're virtual in 2023. That's how we live in,
Oh, you
man.
got
So
to. You got to be. Yeah. If you're not virtual
yeah,
now, man, what you doing? You're.
yeah.
What's the? There's another saying for that. It's either. It was from a book. It was a good quote. It said, "Oh yeah, you have two options because things are always changing. You either can adapt or you can fade into history." That's it.
Big
Mm.
facts. So as you're teaching, and we're all teachers in somewhat, not financially, not me, but but as we're all teachers of something, and but the object of being a teacher is to still learn, man. So what advice you've been given, and what are you currently learning in the financial game?
Yeah. So I do agree with you on that. To be a good teacher is, or to be smart or whatever, is to always want to learn more, and always know that you always don't know everything. Um, the biggest thing I like doing and learning from is when I sit down with people, everybody has different places in life they're at. And
Hmm.
so the biggest thing I have to do is be able to meet everybody where they're at. So there's no one type of script, there's no type of set thing that I do for people. I have to see where they are because the conversation is different with everybody, and how far they can be planning. There's some people who might not even be ready to be planning yet. I've had to tell some folks that, hey, hey, sit down a little bit and get two jobs first, and then you'll be able to really see me, and I'll be able to help put a plan for you. Or there's other folks who are near retirement. One of the most recent clients is they're both 61 years old, and they have investments, or there are SEP IRAs that they had, which is individual retirement accounts. They've had those for 30 years, but they were looking, how do I transition to retirement? And what we mean by that is just a lot of people are getting to retirement but don't know how to turn it into the income, because remember, the retirement is just having passive income that pays for your expenses. So people are having a bunch of money in their 401ks and things of that nature, but don't know how to turn into income. And so for that person, I could just teach mainly them about that. And so I have to always be learning in the industry as well, because stuff changes in the finance industry all the time. So I do webinars all the time with my team, and also the investment companies I'm partnered with. We do training webinars literally weekly. So it's a constant learning, constant.
That's what's up.
So let me ask you this, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the kid just graduates. A kid graduates college. They get their first quote unquote corporate job. They making, I don't know, let's say 35,000 a year is their first job out of college.
Hmm.
What do you tell that young person? They got a little bit of student debt, but it's not like crippling. You know,
Right.
and what do you tell that young person? As far as kind of to start thinking ahead.
Yeah. So someone like that, especially a young person, the first thing I always tell them is, thank God you're meeting you young, because you have time on your hands.
Right.
It's harder for people that are in their 40s and 50s who haven't really done anything, because they're shorter on time. But a younger person, I would even tell them of just the concept of learning how to, what you call, paying yourself first. And that's how you look at it when you're contributing to an retirement account, is you just say, hey, I'm paying myself first, because my future self is going to be paying me forever. What
Mm,
now is going to pay me forever. So my future self is going to thank the now me. So a lot of them, I helps them open like what's called a Roth IRA, and they can do it as little as, just for some companies, is literally $25 to $50 a month. So that's what, going out to eat one time nowadays.
right.
even
Yeah.
at, like Texas Longhorn, right? You go get a steak there, that's like $30, right? So it's literally just how you. It's all about the mentality of it. Is how people can easily really start saving and paying, like I said, paying themselves first. And just with $25, $50, and then as it grows and they career grows, they can always add more to it. And
Hmm.
so that's how it would start with someone that's young.
Cool. So let me
That's what's
counter
up.
that. Let me counter that just to be devil's advocate, because there are people who think like this. So I'm young. You see me like, hey man, you ever thought about investments? And I say, hey Lorenzo, I appreciate you, man, but I probably ain't gonna be here tomorrow, bro. So why should I have to be thinking about investing?
God, dog.
This is people think like this though, man. This is real talk. Like people like, man, I live for the day. That live for the day
Yeah, the
mentality.
YOLO, right? YOLO.
Yep. So like how do you navigate through that conversation, or what advice are you lending when you hear that? And have you
Yeah.
even heard that before though, too? So
Yeah, I'm
go
about
ahead.
to say, I actually, fortunately, I don't hear that often. Because even if I did, I would just first ask them, dang, what kind of karma you got going on? Like, what you done did to somebody? Because some you
Right,
got
bro.
a
Right.
following you, so that's something I need to know. But um, But even then, if someone's more concerned with not maybe being here long term, I'll tell them this because I work on both fronts. There's two things I do for people. I protect people from dying too soon and living too long. And what I mean by that is the insurance and the investment. So someone younger, I say, even someone like, let's say there's because I've actually talked to some people more in the projects and stuff like that, or more the low income areas, and their sons are and daughters are running around here in the streets, right? You know what I'm talking
Yeah, let's
about.
keep it 100. Let's talk about
So
it.
you
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen to those folks. I've told them, hey, look, the real stuff about this is that, and the ones especially, I'll dive a little deeper into it with like the police brutality going on and stuff. You see it on the news and stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I say, the reason why they're so comfortable getting rid of black folks in a sense, right, is because our lives are not worth anything right now. And they say, what do you think of that? I say, hey, listen, if you aren't building wealth, right, if you're trying to build wealth, well, why not you rent it first? Well, what's renting wealth? Life insurance is renting wealth. Because if something happens to you before you build it, you at least renting the wealth. But a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
folks
for
are
your
not
heirs.
building wealth and they're not renting wealth. So your net worth is what? Negative because you got loans and stuff, right? It's actually
Right.
negative, not even zero. So, and I remember I told a lady, I said, imagine this: if everybody that had these, because these guys be and girls, they be young, they be healthy, and you can
Right.
get 100, 200,000 on them, and it doesn't cost that much. It really doesn't. Imagine if every time someone dies like that, everybody in the hood is getting a $250,000 check. Eventually, the hood is not the hood anymore. And then
Right.
guess what's going to happen?
They ain't gonna stop
The
killing.
insurance companies, right? Because they're paying out all this money, they're going to be calling the police station and say, "Hey, look, you guys are need to train your cops better because they are costing us money." And when you start
Mm.
costing money, that's when them phone calls and
Everybody
that's when
start
change happens.
listening.
You affect them pockets. That's why I tell people stop talking and all this stuff. And yeah, the riots or the protesting, all that's great. But are you affecting anybody's pockets? Because that's when the real phone calls are made. I know
Yep,
because I've seen it.
for
When you
sure.
get into the insurance stuff, you start realizing that. And I deal with people who have, I'm fortunate to have people around who do have um, a good amount of wealth themselves and or financially free as I call it. And that's how you get those people moving. So if a bunch of folks start dying, then they're gonna stop killing folks because they ain't trying to pay out billions of dollars anymore. That's
Right.
the
That's
real
true.
talk.
That's
Like
crazy.
that's
That's a
the,
good
Man,
point.
that is a great point. I actually saw that on a TikTok video actually too. It was like
mm,
if you wanted to stream this down, and it was someone who didn't look like us said this. He was like, in the urban communities, many of us don't have life insurance. If we all had life insurance, things will slow down drastically because big companies, the insurance companies, big pharma, all that stuff, they'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. They'll
mm-hmm.
ask for a slowdown. And then the quote, everybody knows this guy, Jay-Z. He said this a long time ago. If you want to get somebody attention, take food out their mouth.
Exactly. So that
You
is
know,
how we can fight back for that. That's how you really fight back is get educated and have your lives be worth something. Be worth something.
Yep.
It's
and that got
easy
me
to
thinking.
kill somebody and just they die and then you talk about them, you have a nice little and then they're not worth anything. So we all forget about them within a week.
Ah,
I'll say
And
it
I,
like this with the legacy part. If my great grandfather had put in place what I'm looking to put in place with my family members, where when we can get older and you have an account that has, $500,000 in it because of the investments that they did, I guarantee you I would know his first and last name. I don't know my great grandfather's name because why? They didn't really leave anything, a legacy. That's also
mm,
everybody who's remembered in history did something for someone else. All the kings, all this stuff, they did big things. You can do the big thing in your family by being one of the people that set up where generations to come were taken care of. They all will know your name. Trust me.
That's a fact.
Like P. Diddy, I guarantee you, 10 generations from now, they will all know who Puff Daddy is because he's the one that started and built the kingdom. And so if you can do that for your own individual families, trust me, man, your name will be etched in stone forever. You might have a son that wears a chain with your name on it. Who knows?
Big time. DC, you said what you thinking about, bro?
Man, shoot, bro, I forgot now. Yeah, man, he was going off,
so Lorenzo, let me ask you this, man, just to and let's keep it a little lighter now, man. But that's a great insight, man, about the insurance, man. But as you're in the financial game, you look back. What's one thing you had buyer's remorse on, bro? As a financial advisor, bro, because we all have, man. I follow a guy named Wale Agunlie. I don't know if you follow him. From the financial game, super dope dude, man. Used to play for the Chicago Bears, but now he talks about financial freedom now a lot, and he has a big investment company. But Wale Agunlie even talked about it too, like even many people who understand the financial game and they got into it, they have a buyer's remorse. What was one of yours? Like, man, why did I buy this shit? What's one of yours?
There was probably a course, a course that I bought before, and that was the thing too. And I think I did buy something too when crypto was real big. That was also like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But not granted though, it did teach me some things about it. And I was able to make some money. I was able to make it all back and stuff because I bought Bitcoin and stuff when it was like 9,000 when the pandemic first started. The thing about then is that you never let a good crisis go to waste. When a crisis is going on, I was watching the stock market. Me and my friends, we weren't worried about COVID. COVID was nothing, honestly. Everybody talking about COVID. Meanwhile, the people with money, they were worried. They were looking at them stocks. Look what happened to Tesla. Look what happened. We saw what happened. What happened to Bitcoin? It went from 9,000 to 60,000. So if you were paying attention instead of worrying about COVID, then you could have capitalized on that. Every major event like that, there's a lot of innovation that happens, and there's also a lot of money that's made during those. Crazy. So
do you feel like
I follow people like that? It's not anybody specific. It's just I follow topics like that. So, but I remember just reading books, of course, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic book. And so it's just those things that I just be following. So it's here and there. And so I can't do it as much now because I have just so much that I learn and go through webinars anyway. And especially now dealing with a lot of clients, I'm doing a lot of more and more teaching. I'm actually starting to do financial workshops for small business owners and their employees, because that's a good way for a business to keep their employee. If they can say, hey, with me, I was able to get a guy to come in here and show you how to plan for your retirement. And that's specifically by working with me. That's how you do employee retention, because anybody can just throw money at the next person and they'll leave. But if your competitor says, well, I'm paying you $3 more per hour, they still probably stay with you because you know what? I got way more services by being with this company. So
the benefits.
It's strategic. I don't know how I got into that, but
so you mentioned something. You talk about crypto and Bitcoin, man. Like what's your take on that? Like crypto and the Bitcoin, all that stuff. Versus your typical investing, like your NASDAQ and all that. Like what's your take on that versus the other?
I mean, I believe that majority of its time has passed already. As far as if you're trying to get big gains off of it, I mean, you'll have to, it's like anything else. It gets saturated. The biggest time to do that was years ago, honestly. And then even with the altcoins, the smaller ones like the Crow coin and all that, Dogecoin and all those, you have to have some kind of inside information or just be putting money everywhere. And so it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a stable thing. It's not a decentralized problem anymore. The governments are going to get involved with it if they haven't already. It's not going to be what was the biggest draw to it was that it was decentralized. There's no banks that are operating it and stuff like that. Nobody's controlling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that's just impossible for that to sustain. They're going to
Yeah.
get their hands in it because there's a lot of money being made on it. So,
And I think they're already
um,
starting to make digital currency. Like I think the
yeah,
U.S.
I think
digital
Facebook
dollar.
and the banks and stuff, yeah, they're starting to. I said, so y'all the ones that were talking trash about it, but secretly y'all bought into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like J.P. Morgan and those companies,
Yeah.
they bought a bunch of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I should say, not strictly Bitcoin, but cryptos, and they were trashing it too. Oh, it ain't no, it's trash. No, it should. And then they was buying at the same time. So
Yep.
just tell people, just watch it and just do your research on it. If you want to participate, that's fine, but don't gamble with your rent money. I'll put it like that.
Mm. Yeah,
There it
that's a
is.
fact.
So speaking of that, like we talk about the government. You mentioned the government getting involved, man, and the U.S. dollar. And as a financial guy, I'm pretty sure you see this on the news. You're reading about it. So you see many countries now shifting away from the U.S. dollar in regards of trade. Like, what's your insight or thoughts on that? Like, you look at India, you look at Brazil, you look at Thailand. You're seeing all these other countries now kind of shifting away. Does How does that affect the U.S. dollar that we have in this country versus outside? If you have any insight on
Yeah,
that.
that's a good question because trust me, clients have asked me about it. The
Hey
clients
man,
are calling me
I
and
do
being
my
like,
homework, bro. I was waiting for you
"What-
to come on the show.
what's
I'm doing my
happening with my
homework.
investment?" I'm like, listen, look, if you're thinking that the money is going to be worthless and stuff, I'm actually telling you, you're actually a couple years late on that. The actual paper money has been worthless for a while now. It's just now the big thing is that internationally, the trade exchange for the dollar versus like the yen or the peso, whatever, that's
Right.
probably going to change the exchange rate. But domestically, as in here in the US, still, your investments that you're going to do are still going to do its thing. Um, it's just like in any other country. They're investing in their own markets, right? They're investing in their infrastructure. They still make money there. It's not like you're not going to make money anymore, or America's not going to make money. It's just that the global trade or what's the standard might change, and if it does, it's honestly so what, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a scare tactic. I'm not going to say they're intentionally doing that because I don't want to say that, but there is a word that's called propaganda. That is a real thing. So just don't overreact to everything. Is what I'll tell. That's what I told my clients. Don't overreact. Because if
Gotcha.
everything goes bad, then your investments are going to be the last thing you're worried about. Because the whole infrastructure is crashing,
Yeah.
and we have enough money or power in the sense that if it does even try to get to that point somewhere in the future, somebody's going to intervene and not let that happen. So it ain't just going to oh yeah, we're just worthless now. No. And the fiat currency, the paper dollar, they're already trying to turn it everything cashless, a cashless society, right? So
So
cash is
cash,
not king anymore.
yeah, that was my question. I was say so. Cash is not king because you do
Cash
have
is not
people.
king anymore.
We do
It's
have.
bad though because that the real reason for that, in my opinion, is that it's a lot easier to keep track of things if everything is digital now. So they can keep a tab on everything, on everybody, I should say. So you
Yeah.
kind of can't lie about this. There's no under the table type stuff. All the stuff that we know about. You can't do that. If it's all trackable, then you could probably, because they already do that with your smartphones and all that stuff that we all use. Everything's tracked, man.
Yeah.
All day. So
Yeah,
so
that's a
let
fact.
so wait like so you got people who feel like theorists. I'm gonna say theorists are like,
Hmm.
hey, everything's digital, so they keep track of it because all money is digital. It can go from a million to zero, snap of a finger, right? So you may have people say, man, you know what? I'm gonna keep this cash in a
Hmm.
safe or shoebox. Shout out to Hood. But like, you know what I mean? So like, what's the difference? Like you said it yourself, like everything's digital, and that is the way. But you do have people like, I can't have this stuff digital because my thing can go from one, like I said, from a million to a zero, and then I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Someone can hack it, a glitch in the matrix, whatever you call it, whatever those theorists think,
Yeah, yeah.
and they want to keep cash. You know what I mean? Like how do you have a conversation with someone if you ever met that person?
I keep it simple with that. I just say, hey, look, it's just do what you're comfortable with. To be honest, if you want to have cash, then have it. If you There is a thing called FDIC insured, which is with the banks and stuff. So the banks go bankrupt or whatever, you're legally going to be able to be refunded your money up to 250,000 for most institutions like that. So there's a lot of measures that they do to protect your money in a sense. But if you want to keep cash, that's fine. I don't tell people, but if you keep cash if you keep it under the mattress, it's not going to grow. Just know that.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
not going to work for
exactly.
you. The only way it works is if you got it out in the market. If you got it out in the field, then it's going to do it. If you got it sitting somewhere, it's just going to collect dust.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hold on to it though. Walking
no, and
Dead.
see, and the
If it makes
fact
you sleep
is,
better at night, then do it. I can't.
yeah.
I'm not going to
Well,
try to
and
convince
see,
anybody to get rid of their cash because
Mhm.
what's the point? Just
yeah.
understand
Well, and
pros and
see
cons.
the fact is, man, is that if your money is not accruing interest, then it's really losing value because of
Right. Because
inflation.
inflation.
Yeah. So that money under the
Oh,
mattress, that
yep.
dollar that you got under the mattress, is worth 97 cents next year. You know
Exactly.
what I'm
If you
Man,
saying?
I
believe it,
literally is about to segue to that next question about how you having inflation conversations with your clients because
yeah,
you
literally. If you
basically
don't believe
open
it,
that
if you
door.
don't believe it, you're gonna believe it now. Because what just happened the last year or two?
Hmm.
Literally, if you don't believe it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So you have to, as I say, you have to keep pace, at least keep pace with inflation,
Right.
which is average. If you go throughout the whole history, inflation is average about like what 2 to 3% ish around that
Yeah,
range.
per year. Hmm.
So if you're
Yeah.
doing your investments that are at least getting that, then you're at least what's called keeping pace with inflation. Most people that are in mutual funds, which mutual funds, the only main purpose for those is to diversify your investments. So you're not going to lose it. If you spread yourself out far, then you have much less risk. You heard the phrase of don't put all your eggs in one.
Basket.
Basket.
There you go. That's all a mutual fund does. And so people, like I said, the way I break it down to people is that's a little nugget to kind of what I teach people so they understand mutual funds. And so even the basic ones where that are just moderate growth and stuff are 7, 8, 9%. So you're keeping 2, 3% is inflation. The rest of it is profit to even have more. So yeah,
Mhm.
you have to at least do that. Or I mean, if you want to keep cash, then keep cash. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, eventually the cash is not going to be so. At some point, I think there's some places that actually don't accept cash anymore. So having the cash might really be worthless because you can't even spend it anywhere.
So let me ask you this though. So do you ever watch Snowfall?
Unfortunately, no, I haven't seen Snowfall.
Oh
All right,
man,
he
that's
got
so
homework.
good.
He got homework. He got
You gotta
homework.
do, yeah, man. You gotta watch Snowfall, man. Because I was gonna
Okay,
ask if you
that's
would
it.
give some financial advice to Franklin Saint, but that ain't gonna. That's not gonna hit.
But
That's not gonna.
so with that, like you said, keeping pace with inflation, man, that's great advice as well, man. I'm gonna add that back to now, right? As to DC's question earlier, there's a kid who just got out of college, 35, 40K a year. Obviously, we know in that range of income is you're damn near borderlining low income because the medium income is pretty much gonna be obsolete, my opinion. But I want to hear your take on that too. But what are you telling that person now with that inflation in place of what they need to invest and how they need to invest now? Because we've seen what it looks like in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's I just literally just break down what just inflation is, and to understand that it's always going to be here. So it's all relative. Even though inflation has gone up and the cost of goods have gone up, if
Hmm.
people don't see this, but a lot of people's incomes have also gone up too. So it's really relative. Um, the main thing that they just understand is just how it works and how do I keep pace with it. That's the main point if you want to invest, is you want to make sure you keep growing because things are going to cost more eventually. They're just going to keep costing more. It's just that's what's going to happen. So you have to have more money. Eventually having $1 million is not a lot of money. I mean, even now
Right.
having 1 million is not really a lot. But it can be enough to retire off of because it can pay you a salary of close to about like 60 or 70,000. So people, you can live off that. But soon, people might need $2-3 million. But if you're making more money, it's still relative because you're still going to get the same amount of time it usually takes someone to get from zero to $1 million with the current wages. Can be the same way time frame it takes someone to get from 0 to 2 million if the wages are doubled. So it's all relative with that. But yeah, it's all the concepts with that. And then once the young person understands, it's just okay, this is just to help make sure I'm keeping pace with what's going on. Adapt, always adapt.
For sure.
So
You mentioned one thing. You said inflation is going up along with income. What do you say to people who saying, "Man, my income ain't went up, bro? Where you where
get a
you
new
seeing that
job,
at?"
bro. What you mean, man? Dust off that
I mean,
resume.
for,
I, I would tell them update your resume and skill set.
Mm,
Update your resume, skill set, and there's usually, and with online there's a lot of different things you can do. Whatever someone's hobby is, there's a way to turn your hobby into money even if it's not your job. So whatever you like to do with the internet nowadays, you can turn that into some form of income. Finances just happen to be something I really enjoy talking and doing, as a profession and stuff like that. But either things I like doing, because I've taught myself again recently of just binary conversion to from decimal to binary conversion and back and forth. And so if I wanted to, maybe make extra money, you can make, like TikToks and stuff or whatever to do that. And you'll get a few people that want to learn it, and then you can monetize it. YouTube is always an option. Podcasts like this is an option.
shout out.
So there's a ton of different ways. So it's just, if you need to do that and your wage is not it, then look for this thing called additional streams of income. So just have it coming from 2, 3, 4 different sources. Buy things and resell them on eBay or something. There's all kinds of things you can do.
And I'll say always you can get into real estate, baby. That
Yeah.
real estate game, get you a rental, get you some land. And even if you want to Airbnb it, but real estate to me is one of the obviously I am biased, but to me it
Yes.
is one of the best investments because land is going nowhere. It's a finite resource that will only become more scarce in
Yeah.
time, and it's real. Like it's not like crypto. It's crypto is truly is artificial. You know what I mean? It's just based on what your confidence is in it, and even money is to an extent. But land is a finite resource. The dirt, the trees, all of that is ownership, man. So get into real estate, diversify your portfolio. Let that, of course, just like Zoe was saying, you got to do your investments and whatnot in stocks. So that's a great way to do it. But put some of that money into a piece of property. That's it.
I
You
have no
trying to take
objection.
you trying to take your child, Lorenzo?
Nah, man, just trying to get in where I fit in.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up, man. No, man, I appreciate that info, that this information, this talk has been good, man. Because obviously, like you said, man, it's not people get intimidated. That I'm glad you said that. That is a true thing. I don't think people, like you said, it's not sexy, but people may get intimidated because they may feel like they don't have enough money to sit in a room and have a conversation with you. But
Mhm.
you're saying no, it's not about how much money you
Yeah.
have.
It takes less than people think it does. It really does.
For sure, man. So I think that's dope, man. So I know it's a segue into a segue, but it's about money, man. So You saying diversify your funds, invest your funds. I kind of wrote it down. You know, some people diverse their funds in gambling and betting.
Hmm.
How do you talk to a client about that? Like this is because this is bro. This is how people make money. It's a profession, bro. You see it on
wouldn't
Right.
call
ESPN.
it I wouldn't call
It's
it
a
investing, but okay.
bro. It's a damn sport, bro.
Yeah.
It's a damn sport. It's on ESPN, bro. Like let's just be real. And you see ESPN talk about it. They have a whole show just about betting on.
Wait,
So
didn't
like
some NFL players just get suspended for
yes,
gambling on
or
the line? Like, what
yep,
do they
yep.
think? Didn't Calvin really just come off suspension? Like, what do you?
So I mean, so
Yeah.
like, how do you have that conversation though, man? Like, if I'm
So
coming to
according to
you
T, that's
wanting to
just
be,
another form of investing, when the players
Yeah,
bet on
bro,
I
that's
keep
what.
games.
even with investing. I keep
What
it
what are
real.
you what are you gambling for? You're gambling to lose or you gambling to win? You're gambling to make more
Yeah,
money, right?
I keep it
So
real simple with people, and I even when I teach investing, I teach first what I call the nest egg of what's going to be here. The slow and steady wins the race because there's levels to investing, and people are intimidated of investing because most investing you hear is you're putting all your chips in to
yeah, that one egg.
let's analogize it with gambling. You push all your chips to the table and then you lose and then you're mad. So I literally tell people this when investing and gambling. If you want to do it, that's fine. Just don't, I love this phrase, don't gamble with your rent money. And then if you lose, you won't be upset. But if you gamble with your rent money, bro, I mean, what you want me to tell you? And I keep it real with folks. So it's very short and sweet. I don't it's not that much to talk about it with it. Do it if you want, but don't use your rent money to do it. Because you can lose. If you're gonna do that, make sure you have a nest egg or other things taken care of first. Priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah, because you will lose. The house always wins.
Exactly. The house gonna be there. Your mutual fund that is investing in 200 different companies is going to be making money because there's no way all 200 companies are going to be losing at the same time. That's not going to happen. So, but if you invest in one company, then yeah, you can get big gains, but you can lose it all too.
Big
I'm
time.
okay with that, and I want any clients to be okay with that as long as you have your nest egg in tow. So I don't allow anybody to make those risky type investments without first taking care of the basics first.
All right.
If
For
you
sure.
fail, I'm not doing my job as your financial advisor or coach, right? Your biggest mark of success, like parents, your biggest mark of success is the success of your kids, or in my case, my clients. The more clients that become financially free, the better of a job I did.
Yeah, yeah. So I think in a nutshell, gambling is not investing.
Bro, I'm throwing all this stuff out, bro. I mean, I know
It's
how
just a
silly.
hobby. It's just a hobby. It's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know how silly that sounds, but bro, there are many people out here who
yeah.
that's how they trying to turn dollars, bro.
And a lot of people are more interested in the instant gratification and get rich quick. And those are dangerous, period.
Yep.
So,
That's a
and
fact.
because I tell them investing in a Roth for 30, 40 years, they're like, I don't want to wait that long. I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
way is at least you're more than likely going to get there doing it this way. So if you want to try to flip coins and make it, well, you might lose all your chips. So you take the risk with it. I always tell the pros and cons with people. The key for me being a good advisor to people is to not tell people what to do. My job is just to educate you, make you aware of the pros and cons of everything, from the insurances to the investments to all that. And you have to make the choice of what path you want to walk. I can't tell someone where to walk, because if you tell someone where to walk, they're not going to walk that far if they don't want to do it. So I'll much rather you learn it and you choose it. My clients tell me what they're going to do, and I say, great. Well, I'm just licensed. I can help get it for you. I'm not telling you what to do. You need to. I teach people honestly, because people say, what do I do? Am I a financial advisor? I don't even say I am. I say all I do is I teach people to become their own financial advisors,
Okay.
just like I became my own financial advisor. That's all I'm doing.
Hmm.
So how do you navigate? Because you just said
Man, I
like,
might need to. I might need to trademark that shit.
man. But so how do you explain that? You just said like if that's what they want to do, I'm gonna give them in that right direction. But what if it's something you wholeheartedly disagree? Are you gonna
I
like
will tell
peel
them.
that layer back to
I'll
make?
just tell them I disagree. I disagree with it, but you are still free to do what you want to do. But if here's the thing, I don't fault people for things they don't know. What you don't know is what you don't know. That's
Right.
I'm not gonna fault you, but if you learn and now you know and you still don't do it, that is now a choice.
Big
So
time.
no one's gonna feel sorry for you if you know it and you still choose not to do it. I don't want to. I'll tell people I don't want to hear it later. If you fail later because you still did this, we told you.
Right.
So that's how I am. I'm very very real with people, and my clients appreciate that actually because I'm not trying to snake oil sales anything. Them. It's just
Yeah,
hey,
authentic. Yeah.
this is what it is. I can help walk with you to get there, but I'm at least teach you because I know most of us don't know. But after you learn, now it's up to you to do it. If you either want to do it or you don't. I can only assist people in them wanting to achieve financial independence. I can't make anybody do anything.
Right. Yeah, it's like you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him
That's right.
drink.
Can't
Kind
make
of
them
thing.
drink. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I keep it simple, baby. I keep everything simple. And surprisingly, contrary to popular belief, simpler is better.
Yeah, that's the thing. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying? The
Yep.
acronym.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
all day, man.
I
So
tell you who should have kept it simple, bro.
mhm.
Man, Dylan Brooks, man. I don't know if y'all been watching. He been running his
Oh,
mouth.
nobody can sweat now. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
LeBron. All right. Yeah. All right. He's not. No, he's not good enough to be talking like that. He needs to stop.
well,
so
and we all saw that now last
as
night.
as
Like,
an advisor, is that something you advise him to stop doing?
Not to trash talk someone about what he said. It talked to me when you dropped 40 on me to the
yeah,
all-time scorer in basketball history. What?
right, right,
Already
right.
giving you like 28 or 30 a night, and you're talking about, well, he'll have my attention when he's old. He'll have my attention when he drops 40 on me. I'm like, Dylan, have you ever dropped 40 on somebody? I
Bro.
don't think
Yeah,
he's ever
right. That's
scored
a good
40 in the
question.
game yet. Has he?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
no,
I
no,
don't.
no.
I
He's
don't
never
think
That's
put
so.
just
up a 40
classic.
piece.
This is classic. You talk in your game and you ain't got the game to back it up.
Well, yeah, and then the fact that they come back the very next game and get washed. Like they got
Why?
washed last night, bro. Yeah.
And you get ejected too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
So yeah, he does look bad. It's terrible. But I'm enjoying the playoffs though. This playoffs has been exciting. There's
Who
been
you
a
got?
lot.
yeah.
Who you got? Who you got? Who you got coming out the East and the West? Who you got?
Well, I did have the Lakers coming out the West.
Okay.
Okay, you got the Lakers, huh?
Because it was hard because the play-in and the stuff was shaping up every game. The standings were different, so it was hard to pick somebody until the playoffs started. Really,
True.
which was crazy because this was one of the wildest finishes to the regular season too. Because
Yeah,
for the
especially in
last
the
2 weeks
West.
of the season, every game was a playoff game, basically.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
So it was exciting. I loved it, man. I was eating it up. But I got the Lakers coming because but the only team that I probably see that can really is the Suns with KD because they looking good too. But
Yeah.
I don't think Sacramento will be good enough, or Golden State, whichever comes out of that series, or Denver. I just don't believe in Denver. They're
Not at
kind of
all.
like Philly. They're like Philly. I just don't. Y'all ceiling is just the second or conference finals. Like you're not gonna get out. And then I got Boston coming out because
See, I actually picked
Boston's
the
real.
76ers coming out the East.
You got the Sixers.
Yeah, I know you said they're not for real, man, but I think this is their year, man.
Hey,
They might
Joel hurt. Joel hurt.
Yeah, I saw that. But
No timetable. No timetable
I'm
on the
only saying
return.
the Sixers because I said them before it even started. I can't switch it up now.
That's fair.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. As a man, you like, I got to stick with my picks. I'm upset because my team, which is the Dallas Mavericks,
Oh
done
shit.
stonewall.
Ooh.
Oh
Oh,
man, I was so happy at that trade, and then I went from happy to excuse me, sorry. I went from happy to are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
From the fourth
Yeah,
seed to out the play-in.
yeah.
That's unheard of. How do you do
and
that?
they protecting that pick. They protecting that pick, which they just got
The
fined.
pick.
They got
Right,
fined for that too. They got fined for that
Yeah, they got a big fine.
right, because
750,000.
they dumb enough to talk about it. Why would you say that?
Yeah. But I
Tell them that
think
Hey,
for the
but I
Mark
pick.
think
Cuban don't
their
care.
season started going downhill before that. I think it got to a point to where they realized that it was a wrap, and then they decided to tank. But
Yeah,
I don't think they took Kyrie to tank. I think it just kind of worked
no,
out that way.
Kyrie's supposed to be a an asset with that.
Right.
The because he signed him what it was like he's on the last year. He's looking for a new deal. So I don't think Mark Cuban gonna give him 5 years.
Right. No. No, not at
So
all.
you did that all that to trade him, and then if he gets a deal somewhere else, then you what rented him for half a season? They
Right. Just so y'all
gave
can miss
up,
the playoffs.
gave
Look, bro,
up four players.
they were in the Western Conference Finals just last season, and now they missed the playoffs.
Yeah. So and then the East, I don't know what's going on with the Bucks. They down 2-1. They lost to Miami last night.
They did.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on. And Giannis, I think he's okay. I think because he played. So I don't know. But as a basketball, because I played basketball in high school and stuff, I knew as a former player, there's nothing worse than if something's wrong with your ankles, legs, or whatever, and your back. Those are two
Yeah.
things where you're just like, man, it hurts to play.
Right.
Like shoulders and arms or something. If you can play through that, but your back,
You can't do anything about it.
no sir. So, um, T, who you got
I got the Lakers and the Bucks. I
in the
know.
Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
don't know. Yeah, the Bucks don't look good. My pick, I think is going to be. I think I might be the closest, and then we have another Lakers Boston finals. We love those
That would be dope.
because
Yeah,
that
that
goes
would be.
back to Magic and Bird and them back in the '80s. Well, before my time.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
would
would
be
be
dope.
dope.
I think I got the Lakers and Sixers, and
Wow, we
and
all
if,
got the Lakers. Wow, we believe in the Lakers. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Either that
Healthy, healthy, healthy.
or did I say the Suns? I can't remember. I said either Lakers or the Suns. We just talked about it last episode. I forget now. Do you remember T? T remember everything, bro. I be T remembering shit. I don't. I said like
Yeah,
2 years
I be on
ago,
it. I be
that
on
like
it.
is
on the
Moving
true.
first.
forward.
T
Or
remembers
like,
some stuff I said on the first pod. I'm like, what? I don't even remember our first pod, but I
yeah,
can't remember if I said the Suns or not. But
Yeah, you said the Suns. You said the Suns because you said you
I
can't.
said,
You yeah. You don't want to. You say you can't go against KD because if he
yeah,
on, he
if
on, and
KD's
it's
out
true.
there, bro,
If
assuming
he
that
on, he
he's
on.
healthy, yeah. So I think I got the Suns and 76ers with
man, KD, he can't carry his own team though. Yeah,
well,
we
but
seen.
he's in a good situation now where he don't have to really carry the team. But I will say, if he wins with the Suns, this will be a legit title. Like the other two, they got an asterisk by him. But if he wins it
Oh,
with the
Golden State is
Suns, you got to
definitely.
give
Yeah,
him his
I don't.
respect.
Yeah, Golden State's championships are like, come on, are you serious?
Right,
KD,
right,
you left the team that beat you the last year to join the best team in the NBA to basically
right.
get easy chips, and it should have been three, but everybody started getting hurt then.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's like, oh, that was, and then, well, I didn't care about rings, but I wanted to let's go to Brooklyn and I'm gonna do it myself and stuff. Yeah, we saw how that worked out.
yeah. Him and I blame Kyrie for that.
Wow.
Well, Kyrie is interesting. That's for
James
sure.
Harden was there too, bro. They all played a part, bro. Everybody played a part.
Kyrie
James
is
Harden was pushed away by Kyrie. He saw those antics. He got up out of there, bro.
Kyrie is definitely interesting. He isn't he the one he believes that the Earth is flat, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and the
Has he
one
not
who
been in a plane around the world yet?
He was
he's also the
listening.
one.
You can
He's also
afford
the
it.
one who
Private
he's
jet.
yeah. He's also
Right.
one who quit like in the middle of the season for no reason and didn't tell anybody. He just stopped playing and stopped showing
Oh
up for
yeah.
work and stopped showing up for practice. Like,
Like,
what?
what job you could do that at? Just not call out or
Yeah.
call into work and
Shout
just
out
not
Kyrie.
show. Like what? You get fired just about everywhere else.
Man,
Well, yeah, Kyrie's something else though. He's something else. But his handle is ridiculous. Uncle Drew,
Oh
all
yeah.
day, man. So,
you can't deny
man,
that. His
yeah,
ability is crazy.
yeah, you can't deny it, man. So,
Hmm.
so
So, but
Lorenzo, man, like,
yes,
where
sir.
can if somebody want to have sit down and have a conversation with you in person or virtually, man, how can we get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, actually, I have. And maybe we can have a thing where I could post links, but I have a what's called
Yeah,
Calendly, where people can literally book themselves on there. Um, and if anybody didn't know what that was, it's called calendly.com. So Calendly,
mhm.
and I have the URL. Hold on one second. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to send that to us because we're gonna definitely share that on our page. So
Yeah. So
please
it's,
make sure you
it's
share that to us so we can get that on the page, man.
so what I
Yes.
have on there is like my program that I have that is at least 3 days, and then also a 30 to 60 minute coffee table. And that's where I do one-on-ones with folks that, hey, if anybody wants to do that, actually, let me send the link to DC because I have this
Yeah,
right
Yeah,
send
for
now.
that to
sure.
him so we can definitely get that on the page, man. We definitely want to get you out there, man.
So
And
it'll be calendly.com/Lorenzo Boston appointments or APPTS/30 minutes. I'm sending what the link is, but yeah, you guys can post that. That's the easiest way for people to book,
Mhm.
and they'll have their email and stuff like that where I can get notification and we can set those up. Um, there is also, I mean, if people wanted information, I have the website that I'll send to my personal website
Okay.
with PFSI, and so it shows all the credentials and all the stuff that we do and stuff like that. There's some folks that really really care about that, so I
Right.
have that too for them. If people can reach out, I mean, I have Facebook as well, but I don't be on it that much because we can't post so many things on there. As a in the industry, yeah, they don't do that. But I'm gonna send. Those are the two main things that do that, and then also if an email, you could just do Lorenzo Boston 33@yahoo.com. That's the main email I use to check daily. So
Okay.
if someone wants to email me through there, I can also reach out through that way.
Cool.
Lorenzo Boston at you said Lorenzo Boston 33.
Yes, at yahoo.com.
Is that 33 for Larry Bird? Because your last name Boston. Is that what we did there?
No, actually that was my jersey number in high school.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So there's like, boom, there it is. So I keep that with me. I keep that with me. It just happened to be Larry Bird's number, right?
Right, with Boston. So I was like, all right, I see what you did there.
Right, right. And my last name's Boston, right? Like what?
You know what I'm saying? So for sure, man. Um, I mean, for the homie Rod, you know what I'm saying, as we like to end the show, man, definitely. Um, he always leave a quote, man, but I'm gonna pull a quote from, like I said, Wale Agunlier, who's a financial advisor who I seen on some podcast, super dope, man. The secret of getting ahead is getting started.
Mm.
You can't get ahead if you don't even get started. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, Zoe, man, thank you, man. Appreciate you joining, man. Time to chop it up with us and give us some
For
insight.
sure. For sure,
Hey man,
brother.
you guys, man, this is a wonderful thing. I love the barbershop type atmosphere with this and just talking.
Yeah.
We got to learn a lot of information together. I appreciate you guys having me. As your listeners, man, if they want to reach out, I'd be more than happy to assist any and everyone in whichever way I can. And hopefully, we can come back again and we can just be talking other things.
Oh yeah, bro. We love to have you back.
You'll definitely
For
be
sure.
our guest.
For
For
sure,
sure,
man. For sure.
man. So
Definitely.
yeah, man. Other than that, man, DC, man, this was fun, bro. Appreciate it. This is dope.
Yeah, man. In the meantime, we definitely everybody be on the lookout. We gonna share all of Renzo's information on our social media
Mm-hmm.
platforms.
Yes,
And
appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that.
All day.
yes,
Gonna be
sir.
straight like that, man. We might chop it up, man. Even my beautiful wife was like, man, I want to hear what this guy got to say.
Hey,
So
I
that
love to hear it. It's nothing like people being enthused about it, because especially being enthused about it makes the whole process easier.
mhm.
Yeah.
So you already know. Don't be intimidated. You know what I mean? This
That's
is a
right. Do
person who
not
we're
be
trying to help you.
intimidated, man. You go through life, man. You learn things. You got experiences, but we evolve. It's all about evolution. Don't stay stagnant. There's nothing that prevents us from learning anything anymore. You don't
That's
have
it.
to tell you. It's not what people tell you anymore. We have the internet. We have all sources now. You know, so we're in position where we can make changes for ourselves and our families. And so, man, let's do it. Let's do it together and bring things back to how things used to be, where people took care of each other, the community took care of each other. We didn't all cry to the government for everything like we're doing now.
That's what's up.
Whew. I'm
Yep,
gonna
self
end that.
empowerment.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
end it
right.
on that right there, man. That's love right there, man. We appreciate that, man. So, my 3 words that I always like to end with, bruh. Kill the music.